It is our favorite time of the week again, time for hashtag Rising Qs when we get to answer your questions. Saagar, what's up first?
Number one. Okay, court, considering our government is by and for the wealthy elites, is it likely the mainstream media is marketing stories and slogan to their donors rather than truly trying to convince the masses? Bold moderation from this week comes to mind. Where would you get
Bold
that
moderation
idea? I mean, how could you look at the candidacies of people like Deval Patrick and others and not conclude otherwise? I mean, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, you totally hit it on the head. It's amazing. I mean, remember the hagiographic treatment of Kamala Harris, who couldn't even make it to Iowa, Deval Patrick, and more. Andrew Yang famously outraced Cory Booker by several orders of magnitude, making it onto the debate stage when a sitting United States senator couldn't. Who got more treatment? Who got a Hulu documentary or whatever? It wasn't Andrew Yang.
Did Cory Booker get a Hulu documentary?
It was some documentary.
Okay.
So like something about
yeah.
Yeah.
You always have to look at not just, okay, so it's partly who's there, who's paying for subscriptions.
Yes.
Right? And so for the Times, supposed overwhelmingly sort of affluent white liberal resistance set. So that's who their stories are really written to cater to. And that also happens to be their own social set. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, they're very much influenced because these newsrooms have become such a monoculture by their own sort of peer set and demographic group, and by the fact that the mode now is the way to advance is to be close to these people, to not to challenge them, but to be their buddies, to hang out in the same social set,
yes.
to give them the puff piece that they want. That's the way to advance. So that's a lot of what's going on here.
That's right. All right, what's up next?
Can the hyper-partisan American political system be moved back to a place where differences in opinion don't make people deadly enemies? I'm going to say I believe that the answer is yes. And I believe that the success of this show is proof that people can be brought in a different direction. Trust in media is at an all-time low. People are increasingly looking to independent sources of media that they actually trust. Sometimes that's a bad thing. Sometimes it's even more partisan. Sometimes it's even more hateful, more misleading. But I think you increasingly see places like this one where we have, blistering critiques of the people who are in power, but we really try to cut one another a lot of slack when it comes to people who just, are trying to make sense of the world, may have a different political ideology, maybe misguided, maybe wrong, maybe even occasionally offensive, but are coming at it in good faith. So actually, the success of this program gives me some hope in that regard.
It certainly does. It's about how institutionalized our media is. And I do believe, actually, given Matt Taibbi's work and more, that the media is number one to be blamed for much of this. I was telling you about this graph, which it makes me want to cry inside, which is that it's about how do you feel about the economy. Mm-hmm. So right before Inauguration Day, Democrats overwhelmingly thought in the 70th percentile that the economy was bad, and Republicans only 9% thought that the economy was bad. On Inauguration Day, the day after, 69% of Republicans then thought the economy was bad, and Democrats in the 10th percentile.
So it just completely flips in one day.
So I'm like, so this is all fake. Like you don't have any real connection to the economy or whatever at all. It's all emotional based upon who the president is. You can't live like this. Like we can't live in which it's like how you feel about empirical concepts is completely and utterly motivated by who your partisan belief is. And now, the best example is like when you see GOP lawmakers vote against a stimulus package and then run on how great one of the elements of the stimulus package is. It's just like the culture war comes for everything. Is there a way out? I hope so.
We're working on that. That's an active project ongoing right here.
Okay. Next question. What are your most favorite accusations you've gotten from the left and right, respectively? What do you think, Krystal? What do you got?
I think I always like when I get called a grifter.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it's just it's so tired of an accusation. Like it gets thrown at literally everybody all the time that you happen to disagree with. It has to be that like you're nefarious, not that you just have a difference of opinion. And also, by the way, like my views basically got me fired from MSNBC. You know, like clearly, if you
made a much better
want
career,
the big career path and to make more money and all that stuff, like I don't know that my politics really fit in that vein. I mean, look, I'm extraordinary, and this is the other one that I love. There's some site on the internet that has just like wildly inaccurate portrayals of like my personal wealth. I'm like worth $100 million, and it says like these specific sports cars that I own and stuff like that. And look, guys, I am really lucky and I'm really blessed, and I feel extraordinarily fortunate. But that is not even close to the range of us. So I see that thrown at me all the time. I'm like, what? Where did you get this from? But apparently that's on some random website on the internet that people are apparently believing.
It's been officially debunked with facts and logic. My favorite one are from like members of the uber left who say I'm a fascist racist, and then the actual fascist racists hate me.
Yeah.
And they think I'm a Bernie collaborator. So I'm like, well, which one? I mean, can you guys pick one in terms of what it is? They're like, oh, he's an alliance with so and so, and then those people actually in that group are like, screw this guy. You know, call me all sorts of nasty racist names. So okay, guess man without a country or a party or whatever. That's fine with me.
I mean, Russian asset is always a classic.
That's always a fun one.
Like that's always a good one when they reach for the like useful idiot or Russian asset one.
Whatever.
Did your Kremlin handlers tell you to say that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's always a favorite.
Okay.
All right, guys. One more rising for you later today.